All right. So tonight we're going to talk about acceptance and why that is so important on the journey and within Fat2Fierce. All right. So first, I want to talk about the foundation. The foundation that gets created early in life when diet, weight, food, all kind of comes into play, okay? The foundation that your current beliefs have been built on, all right? So here's what I mean by that. Now, I'm taking this from my own personal experience and the experience of the women that I work with in the world, okay? My one-on-one clients, the women who are going through the online Fat2Fierce course, and even the women who are in the Facebook group, right? So those of us who are doing this work, the majority were put on a diet at some point between the ages of 8 and 13. That's the most common age range of us being put on some sort of a diet, a restrictive meal plan, something in order to change our weight. Okay. And I want to just think about what that does to a young child, to a young girl, okay, when that happens. You have your own experience, I have my experience, but just consider what happens when at a young age, we're told there's something wrong with our body, we need to lose weight. It sends a message that we're not okay as is. There's a problem, there's something wrong, we're not good enough, okay? Then you throw in food restriction. Can't eat this anymore, can't have so much of that anymore. Food changes, getting a little chubby, can't have as much ice cream, okay? That kind of messaging starts. That triggers an unhealthy relationship with food. It almost triggers a war with food. Think about it, to a young child's mind, right? And then what happens is it'll trigger the inner rebel. Because I know for me, because I shouldn't be eating this or I shouldn't be eating that, because, I wasn't stick skinny, because I was developing early, because I was a curvy kid, shouldn't be eating this, shouldn't be eating that, my inner rebel started to have a heyday. I started sneaking food, right? I started sneaking snacks when nobody was looking. And so you have this dynamic happening where you're thinking there's something wrong with your body, you're not good enough, there's a problem. Food is being restricted, food is being taken away. It starts a scarcity mindset with food. Think about it, right? That triggers the inner rebel. Gonna hide things, gonna sneak things. When left to my own devices, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna have a binge because I don't know the next time I'm gonna get to have this, right? That's the foundation that gets laid early in life when we were put on diets at young ages, okay? Or when the idea was to change our bodies to lose weight. That foundation. And what happens if we don't change that foundation, and of course we don't change that foundation because we didn't know we could, because we don't change that foundation, we carry that throughout life. I want you to think of a house. Every home has a foundation, right? So as we're going through life, we're operating with this faulty foundation, this foundation that was created on the idea of something being wrong with the body, food being restricted, scarcity mindset with food because of that, and the inner rebel. And so what happens is we're moving through life on this foundation. We always thought the fix was another diet, another weight loss plan. Maybe it was weight loss surgery. Now you've got all the, the different medications that are out there, the different products, the different plans, the different whatever. We keep trying all these things to fix this problem we think we have. But at the end of the day, it's just that the foundation has never been healed. The faulty foundation has never been fixed. It's never been, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like never been reinforced, corrected, healed, changed. So when you can fix that foundation, when you can address the foundation, and again, that foundation is that there's something wrong, scarcity with food, food restriction, and the inner rebel. When you can resolve for that, that's going to reinforce the foundation. Then you're going to get to move through life with a stronger base. Okay. Once you can do that, it opens it up to possibility, and you get to decide what you want to do moving forward. You get to decide if you want to change, if you want to make a change in anything, in any area where weight is involved, or you might decide that you're fine the way you are and you just want to have peace, right? The point is, with that reinforced, stronger foundation, you get to decide. And this is where awareness comes in. So first, acknowledging the fact that there's been this shaky foundation from the beginning, from a really early part in life. And it's been decades of trying to, live life experience with this faulty foundation, right? So awareness of like, okay, this makes so much sense. What do I want to do now? And this is where the acceptance comes in, right? Because it's almost like, of course, this makes so much sense. It's accepting the fact that there's like a crack in the foundation, that it's been faulty. Once you have that acceptance, you can remove the drama. That's where acceptance is so important. Because once we accept the fact that like, okay, this makes so much sense. Yeah, I was put on a diet as a kid. Food restriction became a thing. I was told there was something wrong with my body. I've held, that's my story. You have your own, right? Held on to that for so long. It's not about pointing blame and, going back into all the history, as much as it is acknowledging and accepting that we've been operating with this shaky foundation, or this foundation that's not serving us, and now looking to reinforce it. And how do we do that? How do we reinforce the foundation? How do we start building a new foundation? It's interesting. I had a client recently tell me about something called a sister foundation, and it's specifically for homes in certain areas that were built on like really unstable foundations, right? Like in the world. And what they do is they build a sister foundation to help reinforce the old foundation, right? So they don't have to completely rip everything out. So I'm thinking about that in terms of Fat2Fierce. It's like, oh, okay, so accepting the fact that we've had this kind of wobbly foundation, understood, and having so much compassion for ourselves and for that, how can we build a sister foundation to help reinforce that old foundation? Because within that old foundation is also stuff that's really good. There's also parts of you that are really helpful and really amazing, right? That are determined, that are powerful. So we don't want to get rid of all of it. We just want to create that sister foundation where we can help reinforce it. And a lot of that, just getting to work on that sister foundation, I really love that idea. Getting to work on that starts when you accept exactly where you are today. I want you to just sit for a moment, hand on your heart, take a deep breath. And I want you to imagine what it feels like when you accept exactly where you are today, flaws and all, everything, every part of you. Say it out loud with me. I accept where I am today. I accept who I am today. I accept exactly where I'm at on my journey today. Notice where you feel that in your body. Where does that register? How does it feel? What emotion does that bring up for you? Just notice. This is awareness, right? When you begin to accept exactly where you are today, it removes the drama of where you think you should be. You stop fighting with the reality of where you are right now, exactly as is. And when you don't have that drama, when you let that drama go and you're in full acceptance, without the drama, you have more space. You can decide what you want to do moving forward. I've talked a lot about Fat2Fierce, and, that it's the whole idea behind Fat2Fierce is helping women step into their fierce. It's about helping women step into their power and decide what they want to do for themselves, right? Without all the shoulds, without all the self-doubt and the questioning, right? And it's about learning how to stop leaning on food to provide comfort, and how to stop binge eating, and how to embrace yourself and your emotions, how to accept your body, accept your journey, and just accept you as an amazing woman having an experience on this planet, right? And so when you can remove all the drama, you're able to step into that power. And that's where you can start to build this sister foundation to reinforce. And that's where your ally is going to come in, right? So if you're looking at the lessons within the online program, it's recognizing what your critic has been saying. Again, part of that original foundation. What does your ally have to say? That's that sister foundation that's going to help reinforce that old shaky foundation, right? But it all starts with acceptance. It all starts with accepting where you are today, because once you can have that acceptance for yourself, and you can remove the drama of the shoulda, woulda, coulda, that's where you're able to start listening and hearing that other voice, that supportive inner cheerleader, right? Your inner ally. Okay, so that's why acceptance is so important. And what I want to invite you to do today is just notice, what does acceptance feel like in your body? What does that feel like? And if it feels like a stretch, if it feels like it's a little bit tough to get to, that's okay. This is where practice is going to come into play, right? Just coming back to this and noticing, like, what does acceptance feel like in my body? When I can sit with the thought, like, I accept myself, what does that feel like? Where do I notice the sensation? What emotion does it bring up? What do I do different in my day, in my routine, when I feel acceptance for myself and where I am, and I'm not fighting with what I think I should be doing? I was going to use an example. Yeah, like what would be, I wrote some notes here, and I was going to use an example. So for those who don't know, last week I had a trip to the emergency room. I was having a lot of severe pain, and ended up spiking a fever. And so I was not going to mess around, and I listened to my body, and I went to the ER, and I am really glad that I did, because it could have been a lot worse had I not gone to the ER. And it ended up being a gastro issue, and I've got a treatment plan, and I've got, everything in line, what I need to do. I'm fine. But it was scary, right? And it's funny, because since I came back from the ER that week, over the last week, I gained 10 pounds. And sure, it's the IV fluids, and I think it's also, our bodies, right? Something was wrong. There was a problem. And it can my body in particular, and maybe this is true for you too, my body tends to hold on to weight when something's wrong, when I'm sick, when I'm not feeling good, right? It doesn't matter if I eat more or less. It's just a way that my body reacts. And so I put on some pounds, and it's interesting because I'm not like, oh no, what am I going to do? Ah, right? All that drama. It's just like, yeah, I gained 10 pounds. Okay. I accept that I gained 10 pounds when I went to the emergency room and throughout the last week of my body dealing with the fact that something was really off. There was a problem. Had I waited, I could have ended up in surgery. Thankfully, I went when I did, and they were able to resolve with antibiotics and, an additional treatment plan. Very happy I went when I did. And I'm in full acceptance that my body put on this extra weight. And it's not a problem. Because you know what? When I accept this, when I accept the fact that, yeah, my body's holding on to some extra weight right now, likely as a result of everything that happened, I can just decide what I want to do moving forward. And oh, by the way, I could radically adjust my diet because of what happened. So I'm also eating in a very different way over the last week. So there's a lot of change that's been happening. And when I can look at that with acceptance and with total understanding and compassion for myself, I don't carry the drama of like, oh my God, it's 10 pounds. Oh no, what am I going to do? This always happens. Nothing works. Right? That all that baggage that I used to carry with me, totally different. And let me tell you something, when you have acceptance for yourself, right now, all I care about is that I continue to feel good. All I care about is that I am nourishing my body in the best possible way that it needs right now. And I know that if I want to remove those 10 pounds, it's not going to be a problem because I know exactly what to do. For right now, I'm going to continue to focus on my healing. That's acceptance. So I will invite you to again consider what acceptance feels like for you. What would be different? First, what does it feel like for you? What comes up when you consider the idea of being in acceptance, right? Accepting that you may have been carrying this shaky foundation for years or decades, right? Accepting the idea that, yeah, you followed all these plans and done all these things and nothing's ever really worked out. Well, maybe it's because, of all the stuff that you were carrying. And also accepting the fact that you can change it at any moment. Just want to invite you to consider what's different for you. Well, first, where do you feel it? What comes up for you when you think about acceptance? Where do you feel it in your body? What emotions do you notice? And what would be different for you if you allowed acceptance for yourself and your experience and everything you've gone through? Just notice what's different for you. If you would like to talk about this further and get some individual support one-on-one, please reach out. Let's talk about jumping on a call and seeing if one-on-one coaching, private coaching is a great fit for you. You can go ahead and email to amy@amyenglishcc.com, or just go ahead and reply to the message that this video came to you on, because here's the deal. Oh, and also I wanted to mention, when it comes to the online course, where are you with that? Can you accept wherever you are, wherever you stopped, and just let it be without any drama, and then decide what you want to do moving forward, when you want to watch the next video, when you want to do the next workbook activity, right? Again, that's where acceptance is so, so important. Acceptance is where acceptance leads to confidence. Okay. So acceptance, it's like awareness, acceptance, confidence. That's why acceptance is so important. That is going to lead you on the road to confidence. That's your fierce. Okay. So again, I will invite you to dive into the course wherever you left off last. Okay. And also to get some individual private coaching one-on-one, hit reply, reach out, let's schedule a consultation and see if one-on-one coaching would be a good fit for you. Okay. All right. Until next month. I'll see you then. Bye.